roles and responsibilities. In Learning Outcome 1, Assessment Criteria 1.1, you'll be expected to explain your roles and responsibilities within education and training. Now, a good starting point here is to refer to the teaching and learning cycle. Let's just recap what that is. So the first stage of the cycle is identifying the needs of the students, planning the learning, facilitating the learning, assessing learning, and finally evaluating the learning, and then the process will start again. Now, all depending on where you work and what your role is, you may cover all these 5 stages, or you may only do some of those, but it's a good starting point. Well, let's just clarify what is a role and a responsibility. Do they mean the same thing? Well, basically a role is really a function that we do. So for example, a teacher. A responsibility is what we do within the role to be effective. Let's look at some examples of roles. So these are just some examples. There are others, but of course you have the role of a teacher, but the teacher may also have other roles. For example, being a coach, having some administrative role, being an assessor, being an interviewer, being a facilitator, and also being a monitor evaluator. So there's some examples of some roles. So let's have a look at the teacher role, and now we'll look at responsibilities. So let's just give you some examples of some responsibilities of the teacher, administrator and assessor. Let's start with the teacher. The teacher is responsible for identifying needs of the students. The teacher is also responsible for planning the session. Administrator role, well, responsibility to process enrolment forms and keep general records. The assessor is responsible for marking any assignments and giving feedback on those assignments to the student. So here we have roles and responsibilities. Now for Learning Outcome 1.1, a good starting point then, as I said before, is refer to the teaching and learning cycle. And if you can, select at least one role and 3 responsibilities that you think you would need to adhere to at each stage. Explain what they are and why they are necessary. That should be too difficult to cover Learning Outcome 1.1. As I said before, refer to the teaching and learning cycle and mention you'll have roles at each stage and the responsibilities. If you get stuck in any way, then let me know. Good luck.